Hey, what's up everyone? Mendel here. I hope you're doing awesome and wonderful. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips to level up your metal, hardcore, rock production. So as always, let's dig right in. Here we go. Alright, so here we are in Cubase. I wrote a short little track, and before I'm going to dive into tip number 1, let's first take a listen to the stuff we're going to work with. Here we go. Alright, so this is like a cool, almost atmospheric post. I want to say like modern post-hardcore with some metal and rock vibes into it. And it's a great song to showcase what we're going to work with. So tip number 1 is muting the shells, especially for an intro or if you want to build up something. If you mute the shells track, which is a bus basically with the kick drum, snare drum and the toms, and focus on the room, you can have some extra energy going into a chorus or a breakdown or whatever. So let me show you right here. Again, this is how it sounds now when it kicks in. Really powerful, but we could enhance that even. So here I have my shells bus. Again, this is where the kick drums go into the snare drum and the toms. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select this range, go over here and mute the shells bus, everything before it as well. I'm even going to up the rooms just a tiny bit, just like so. But what I'm going to do as well is the part it really builds up, like with the toms and the snare, I'm going to slowly automate the shells bus back into the mix and then decrease the rooms to their original level. Just by so. So what we have now is this. This creates so much more excitement in my opinion. The drums are nice and roomy. The center lead guitar is like in center focus. We have the room guitars filling up the space. And when you feel it coming, like the tom build-up you have, and there's like a snare drum rolling, a snare roll coming in, everything becomes more forward towards the mix, and then boom, the chorus hits. Way more excitement versus the version where the shells bus is constantly active. Now, for example, if this part would return somewhere else in the song, you could still have the shells bus going on there. But especially for an intro like this, I'm digging this way more. Tip number 2 is drum filtering. Basically filtering off all the high end of the drums and then let the high end and all the information come back when something needs to hit. This is especially really helpful if you have, for example, some vocals, because when you filter off all the highs, there is so much room for vocals. But let me just show you in this case the same part, but now instead of removing the shells, we're going to keep everything as is, but filter off all the highs and then automate it back in just when the chorus hits. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to my drum bus, and just in the plain channel we have a filter over here. Activate it so we can filter everything off until the end of time, 50 Hertz. So let's just use our ears. What's a nice filtering for the mix? Let's find a frequency that's pleasant to filter to. I think to around 500 Hertz sounds fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press play, press the right button. So we have the automation over here. So again, we're at, let's put it to like 560 Hertz. And then during that last fill, like with the toms and the snare drum, I'm going to put the frequency back all the way up to 20 kilohertz. So just the drums by themselves, we now have this. And because there's like a hit with cymbals, there's this ear candy that's filtered off. But when the chorus hits, everything's there. All the frequencies are available again, which really adds some impact. Let's take a listen in context. Here we go. Such a simple trick, and you can do this on guitars or leads, but especially on drums, because drums take so much space in a mix. It creates so much space, but yeah, by like filtering it off, and if there's vocals, the vocals get really focused because there's not like the high end of toms or cymbals in the way. Lovely trick to do. So make sure you try it out. Let's go to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is flanger on the mix, or on the drums, or basically anything. This is something that was used a lot in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. And I noticed it's making a comeback, and I love it because I've been doing it forever, and sometimes people don't like it. I love using a flanger on drums or on guitars, just to use it like basically as a jet effect almost. You can use a phaser. I like to use a flanger. So let's say we have this heavy riff over here, right? This riff. Just that drum fill could use a flanger. So here we go. I'm going to my drum bus. I'm just going to use the flanger over here. And what I like to do is have the low filter up to, let's say, 400 Hertz. I don't really want to flange all the low end, just mainly as an effect around mid-range to top end. I'm going to mute it, press play, activate the automation. So now it's activated, but we still have the hit from earlier on. So what I'm going to do here is basically activate it up till here, and then deactivate it once it hits. So now we have this. And maybe because we have the flanger effect, just reduce it just a tiny bit so it's not that present. Low filter, high filter, maybe 10 kilohertz is fine. And now let's take a listen. can just make it a bit more interesting. But we could also automate it. So for an example, instead of bypass it, we can use the mix knob. So now over here, I have the mix automation. And what I could do is just, for an example, we could do it opposite. So it goes all the way down. So we're going from 41 all the way to 0. Or we could invert it. We could go from 0 to 41. Just like so. I like it the other way around. And there you have it. Those are 3 tips to enhance your production. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time. Cheers.